Good morning and welcome to my Facebook Live this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm from Gemini Crafts and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you caught me on Friday for my live at 5 session, you will have seen that I did some work with the Christmas card making kit. It's called Joy of Sharing. It's this one here. Let me move that into view for you. This is the page in the catalogue that you can find all the details. Morning, Jeanette. And good morning, Baz. So all of our kits are in the front of our catalogues. This is on page 4 of our August to December catalogue for 2020. And this particular kit can be found on page 4. It's an all-inclusive kit, which means it has everything you need to make the card designs as shown. Obviously, you can do your own thing in addition to that. This makes 15 cards. You can either make them as photo cards by adding a photograph underneath the frame, or you can make them as really elegant, in my opinion, Christmas cards without the photo frame. It includes a stamp set that you can see here, with a nice sentiment, Merry Christmas and Season's Greetings. You have this little piece of fur, some little berries, and also this nice pine cone design. And all of the components that you see here on the printed page are included in the kit. Morning, Carol. Morning, Molly. So let me show you the two that I created on Friday. And then what I want to show you is how you can get more out of your kit, because this is a particularly generous kit in my opinion. So here were the two cards that I made on Friday, just using components from the kit. It's quite difficult with the reflection because of this lovely gold banner. But I've got one that I did in landscape mode, and this is the background frame that you can use on top of a photograph. And for this one I stamped the fir cones on that inside of the frame straight onto the card, so you get all of the cards and envelopes. Everything you see here is included. You even have the stamp set and a mossy meadow, that's the dark green colour of ink. So this was one that I created, and this was another one. So these are about 5 inches by 7 inches, so they're nice big Christmas card, perfect if you're sending them as a family. So just a quick look, I'm not going to go through everything in the kit, but you get all of these cards and envelopes. So you get these cards, okay, which got a wash on them, and they're double-sided. So you could, if you wanted to, actually cut this into 2 and mount it onto another card, if you wanted to make that stretch further. You have all the die cuts, you have the printed die cuts as well. And you have dimensionals for layering up, as well as glue dots for sticking flat down. And these are all of the sheets. There's absolutely loads of them, as you can see, for all the components. You even have this sheet of gold dots that you can pop out, and full instructions. And then you have these frames, the base cards, and of course all the envelopes. So what I wanted to show you is a few things that you could do with this kit. Stretch it, basically, make it go further. So I hope you can see that all okay. That does really reflect, doesn't it? Okay, so what I've got is some of the components from the kit, and I want to show you what else you could do with these components. So if you take these little strips of red that come in the kit, if you are an experienced crafter, then you may well have an embossing machine and die cutting machine. And what I've done with this one to turn it from the plain red, this is real red in colour, is I popped it through an embossing folder to add these dots to it, if you can see that in the light, like so. So that just gives it an element of interest. The other thing you can do is this piece actually comes out of this central panel. If I hop this out. So the idea is that you can just remove this center panel from, trying to do it carefully. Okay, so if you remove this center panel, it's just attached in a few places like that. Okay, here is your frame that would go straight onto your card. Okay, so a couple of things you can do with that. This is the cutout piece. So if you've got a die cutting machine, you could cut a large oval, for example, out of that. But also all of this spare gold you could use for die cutting other elements. There's a lot of gold card in there. So here is some that I've added, like so. Obviously you would need a die cutting machine, but you could also do that with a punch. Okay, so if you had some spare punches. So here, for example, I've got the Christmas tree punch from Perfectly Plaid. So what I could do is pop that through my punch and punch out some Christmas trees for another design. Those could also be embossed if I wanted them to. So this is just literally using up the scraps. What I've done here, if I just get this out, is I've die cut Happy Christmas from the centre of one of these, so that I've got a Happy Christmas banner that I can add into the centre of one of the cards. Here's the gold oval that I cut out, and it'd be very easy then just to add another layer of white or vanilla and stamp on that section. So all of these have been created from the offcut, really, from the middle of these gold panels. So I will do some samples with these in a moment. This one out of the way. And the other thing you can do is actually cut the frame off here so that you've got the gold frame in its own right, and then you've got these little pieces. So let me just grab a card and show you, and then I'll put some cards and stuff together. So you could literally, this is just a real red base card. All I've done is I popped that frame on my trimmer. I can cut that element out, and then I've got the right hand element here, like so. And you could stick those down obviously with some glue dots or some glue. And then I could use my ovals that I've cut out to put a sentiment like that in the middle. So there's so many more things you can do if you just think outside of the basic kit. Obviously, if you're a beginner crafter, the kit in itself, morning Linny. Oh, the ankle, it's yes, it was fine this morning. It's not so good at the moment. But painkillers are amazing things. But thanks for asking, Carol. For those of you who don't know, I managed to sprain my ankle at the weekend. So this is the outline frame that I've cut, that these pieces came from. Okay, so I would tidy this up, okay, along the edge here, but it will give you another frame to use on a completely different card. Doesn't even need to be a Christmas card in the slightest. So let's have a go at putting something together outside of the kit. Okay, I've got my little pot here to put these into so I don't lose them. So I've got Happy Christmas, and I've got these extra pieces here, like so. And I'll say all of these have come out of the scrap pieces from the centre. I think I'm going to do something with the Christmas trees. Okay, so let's take one of the cards. Now, something else you could do with this border is just apply it to some patterned paper. So rather than have the this piece showing through from the card, so this is the card you get with the kit, what you could do, and I've just chosen some of the Christmas papers that we have available at the moment. Okay, so this is a mixture. This is the 12 Tidings ones, and this one and these two here are from, it's just gone out of my mind, but I'll tell you what it's from in a minute. So what you could easily do is layer this onto a piece of patterned paper and then lay that onto your card. Okay, so what I would do is I'm going to measure that frame and then cut a piece of card out that's just very slightly smaller than that. Okay, so let's do that. Just need to extend this because it's quite a large piece. So this is almost exactly, am I going to do it by centimetres? I'll do it by centimetres. 16.2 centimetres by 11.2. Let me write those down because I know I will forget. 16.2 by 11.2. So what I'm going to do is cut up, I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to cut it 15.8 maybe. 16.2. Just have a look. I just want to make sure that I don't have it too narrow. I don't want it any bigger, that's for sure. Okay. So, and I'll do this one at 11. Okay. So this frame is now going to go over this piece of patterned paper. Okay, so I've got a small border, literally 1 to 2 millimeters all the way around. Okay. Let's fold that away. Okay, now I'm continuing to put this on this card because this is bigger than our standard C6 card. This is a standard C6 card. Okay, so it's quite a bit bigger. So say this is approximately 6 by 4. It's not exactly, it's just a little bit under that. So this is definitely just under 7 by 5 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is just put some wet glue along the frame. Let me just catch up with your comments. Molly says she's lost me, but let me know if I'm back, because according to my screen I'm still live, unless she meant she lost me because I was talking too fast. So do let me know. Okay, so all I'm going to do is run a small amount of glue along the edge of here and apply it to my piece of cut off designer paper. I'm not worried too much about these pieces because they're attached obviously to the outside layer. And this one here, like so. Oh, back now. Excellent, Molly. I don't know whether that was your end or my end, but you're back. That's the main thing. So I've just got this frame. I've cut out a piece of designer paper just slightly smaller than the frame, Molly. And then I'm going to pop this down on here. And I've used the wet glue so that I've got a bit of time to maneuver it, like so. So very narrow border, okay, but it changes the look of it in my opinion. So this is now actually going to go onto this card. So rather than have the plain green behind, I've now got this here. And what I can do is use my tree that I've punched out, but also I've got an offcut of this, so I could punch some more trees just from here. It's going to come in from the sides. Oh, excuse me, I've gone all croaky. So this is offcut from the center panel. Okay, and then I've got these two, but obviously you could use any papers to hand. And what that means is that I could then add these oops, my finger stuck to it, down here at the bottom. And then from the kit I could use one of the narrower pieces here to put across there with a Merry Christmas or Season's Greetings sentiment. I've got Merry Christmas here. I'm going to pop that on there. So that is just using the frame, one of these, and then this is the offcut from there. I could put it onto one of the red banners as well if I wanted to. So I could either have that underneath there. Okay, I don't think it needs it. I could also put it underneath the trees if I wanted to. Let's have a look and see. Like so. 2 and 3. Okay, I don't think it needs it in particular, other than bringing in the red again. So let's just stamp this. I've got Merry Christmas And the kit does include a block and the ink pad. Obviously, if you want to change inks, then you'll need a different ink pad. This is Mossy Meadow. This is a nice fine stamp. I'm just going to try it on here first because I haven't stamped it yet. Just want to, yep. Okay, can you see that okay on there? It's quite a fine stamp, so it's not a great deal for you to see while I'm inking it up. Just going to put this central here, like so. There we go. And I could add from the little sheet, if I can find them. So I've got a little sheet of gold glitter dots. So I could take one, put one on either end of the sentiment. Just picking that up with my fingers. Like so. I'm going to put my trees down first, and then I can position my sentiment accordingly. So in the kit you get some mini glue dots that you can put on here, just for speed, and also the fact that you won't actually see them because they're clear. I'm just going to put some wet glue on there. So this kit makes 15 cards. It's £33, so that's obviously just over £2 per card. But even when you've finished the main components, you will still have all these foil pieces that from the middle. You will have some die cuts left over because there's plenty in there, and you'll have the stamp set and the ink spot, so you'll have plenty left over. It would be a great kit to send to somebody for lockdown, even if they've never crafted before. So what I'm going to do is pop some, I do love that dotty, but it's not going to show, so I'm going to pop some dimensionals on each one of these. Like so. The sun just keeps coming and going. Still, we're lucky that it's coming and going, I guess, aren't we? So just going to put one there, just drop it down while I place the other one, and then the gold one is going to go on top. That's fine. I wasn't quite sure about the spacing, so now I know that that will fit nicely. Put that down like that. And I'm going to put my gold one in the middle. Now, because I've messed around with this has got a few scratch marks and things like that. Okay, so just don't fiddle around with the gold too much. But you could just, it's because I put it through the die cutting machine and it's got marks on the plate of the die cutting machine. So let's pop that on top. You could put it through the dotty embossing folder if you wished. So I'm just putting these in the center, so it's going to sit in between these two. You could wrap some thread around it. You could put a little bow on your tree, for example. There's lots of different things that you could do with that. And then let's pop our Merry Christmas up there. One, two, three. So I know it's a really hard time for us here in the UK, and obviously, you know, in other places you've been on lockdown for a little while, but we're back into lockdown here on Thursday. So I will be putting some different kits together for you to do some easy card making. So perfect if you're a beginner. I've got a Christmas card pack that will be coming out that will have everything literally cut, and then you can just put the cards together. Okay, so that's one of my cards using, I have used the punch here. If you were a crafter and giving this kit to somebody else, you could pop out all the centres and just cut out a whole series of different things. So trees or birds or branches, just to make that a little bit different. And so that is quite different from one of the originals. I still like the originals, but it just goes to show what else you can do with this. Okay, so let's have a go at using some of the bits of the frame that I've cut up. So in here I've got these corners. So I've got the two corners that I've cut out. So what I think I'm going to do is I've got a real red base card, and I'm thinking of placing these in the corners like that. Could go on another layer if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to put this one straight onto this layer of card. Having said that, let me just see what else I've got that should get lost in there, obviously completely lost. Let's see what else. I've got the dots. Yeah, I think it gets lost on there as well, so I'm just going to take those there, and then what I might do is I've got this one here. So I have pre-cut this oval out. This is from our selection of ovals, and I could put the main sentiment on from here. Might stamp that in the red, the real red. I think I will try that as a second card. I could introduce some of these, but I think they're a bit big for that purpose. I've also got my Happy Christmas that I've die cut. So let's start by putting these down. So I have my silicone mat here, and I'm going to add some glue to that. Let me just clear a bit of space. I could put that underneath maybe. And I just want to turn these over. Now I've trimmed this, so I have got this little edge, but I think I'm going to trim this little edge off here because it's so fine. And all I did to cut this was put the frame in my trimmer with the edge of the frame along the black line. So let's turn these over. Actually, they look quite nice in white as well, don't they? White really does stand out, doesn't it? But I'm going to stick with the gold. Okay, so I'm going to add some Tombow glue. Now I always keep this Tombow in stock, so if you run out of glue over the lockdown, then just let me know. And if you're local, I can deliver it. And if you're not local, I can post it to you. So just very lightly using my sponge onto those pieces, being careful not to let the gold drop back down if I can help it. And I can't actually remember which way I had these, but I'm just going to put these down in any which way. Really? There we go. So there's my top right hand corner. You can see that. And then could do top right, top left. My gut feel wants to put it in this corner. Like so. So there we go. I've added that on and it's not covered in glue. So I keep one sponge just for this purpose. It has a small bulldog clip on it, okay, to keep it on there. And then even this glue will just wipe off from here later on. Okay, literally just wipes off like that. It's very clever. Okay, that's our silicone mat. Okay, so that's going to be my base card. Let me just check on any questions. Oh, bless you, Carol. Oh, Babsy had a lie-in. Well done. Well done. Thank you, girls. Yeah, I think the white, red and white silhouette is quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so I'm thinking what I might do for this one is add this here, again from the offcut. This one I have punched out from a separate piece, but what I could add is either the Happy Christmas, like so, which I die cut, or I could just add some of these pieces underneath. So I've got some of these. Let's have a look, see whether it's a bit of overkill. It might be overkill. Thinking I might have them like that. Or this one. Or I could find some of my die cuts. So I've got on there, I've got the pine cones. So these are some pine cone die cuts. No, I'm not sure what that helps really. So what I'm going to do is stamp this in red to start with. I'm going to use real red for my sentiment. So I'm going to use the sentiment from here, hoping it fits. I didn't try that out, but it looks like it does. Perfect. Let me grab a block for that one. There we go. So I hope the positioning of this new camera is okay. I've stuck my paper down because I know if I'm on the paper, then I'm under the view of the camera. Let's just grab a real red. There we go. So let's just ink this up. See what it looks like. So as I say, you get a green ink spot with the kit. Perfect. You could, if you wanted to, heat emboss this as well. You could add, you know, some gold accents or something. Let's get this roughly straight to start with. Yep, and it does just fit. This is the largest of the plain ovals. There we go. And I like the sentiment, wishing you a season filled with the special warmth of friendship, the precious joy of sharing, and the wonderful blessings of happiness. I think especially at the moment, we need to be sending cards to keep in touch with people. You know, I know we have Facebook and Zoom and things like that, but you can't beat the touch of a handmade card. Okay, so that's going to go onto there. And I just want something in the background of that. Not sure it needs that. I think that this will be too small behind it. So I might just put some of the gold dots. So this is going to cover that section up. So let's pop some gold dots around. I could stamp the fir cones around. Just going to pop these on. So these, as I said, come in the kit. But I think if you could give somebody the kit as is, and you know, they'd certainly make the 15 cards and have plenty left over. So I popped 5 of those there. I might bring this down a bit. What I should have done was put this on and then put them round. Hey ho, so let's do that. I'm going to, I think, stick this down with glue and then pop this on with dimensionals. That's my plan. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. So Jill, I always tend to cut from the front. Oh, bless you, Carol W. Yeah, I tend to always cut from the front. If you're punching, then sometimes it's better to punch from the back. But remember, if you've got text, then your text must be cut from the front. Otherwise, it'll be back to front. But generally these days, I mean, the glitter card will dull your trimmer much quicker than standard card, your blade I mean. It really wouldn't have an effect on die cutting blade, so just bear that in mind. But I changed a blade recently, but that's been the last one for a long time. Mind you, it is only me using it, not loads of people at class. That does make a difference, doesn't it? Okay, so there's my oval there with my sentiment on. So I think what I might do is lift this one up if I can with my scissors. Or not. No. It's too well stuck. And I don't want to tear it near the edge, so I might just cover it up. So here we go. So if you do have friends that are beginner crafters and you want to send them my beginners Christmas card making kit, then just comment here and I can send you the information. So it will include dimensionals, so they don't have to worry about anything else. It won't include stamping or anything. They can just literally cut out. All they need is a pair of scissors, and if you need the scissors, I can provide those too as part of the kit. So let's pop one of these ones on here. go. There's so many of these, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. By 10 I'm reckoning there's 100 in there. And what you could do, because there's gaps between these, is if you have a separate hole punch like I have, you could even punch more circles in these gaps, and they're all self-adhesive right the way across. So I think actually I might just leave it like that. I don't think it needs any extra foliage, but you could add those in. Let's pop those back in my box. So there we are. So that's just literally using the inside of the frame. So I still have the frame here. So I would tidy that little bit up here on the right hand side, and I could put that onto, if this was big enough, yep, I could put that onto another card like that with the Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas I've got here. This has got self-adhesive behind it, that's where you can see the white from. Or you could cut this all together and just have some gold strips, like so, that could go across a standard sized card, like that. Let's cut it this way. There we go. So what I would do to tidy this one up is just pop it back on my trimmer. So let me just show you how I did that to cut it out. So just to show you that you can get a lot more out of the kits if you want to. Okay, you don't have to by any way, by any means. Okay, this is 1/2 centimetre. There you go. So you've got a nice solid gold strip that you could use underneath a banner. Okay, you could add it to, well, I've actually got 2, but you could add it to the red strip, for example. Here you could put that in the middle like so, and then you've got your sentiment on the top. So let's do one more, because I want to use this Happy Christmas now. I've cut it and then we're done. So I've gone on a bit longer than I intended. So let's just see what I could do with one more. I have got this lovely paper. This is the 12 greetings paper, and it's vanilla with real red on one side and garden green on the reverse, and I think there's 4 different patterns. So this one is a little scene, and then you've got the same scene in the red. So I'm just wondering if I could do something with that. The problem is there's so many nice papers, it's difficult to choose. No. Did I use the gingham? No, I used the dotted before, didn't I? I could use the gingham. This has gingham on it as well, red and green gingham. Let me have a look, see. So what have I got? I've got a vanilla card here I could use. So I could cut that down. I've got Happy Christmas. Let's see what else in the kit I could use. It's white, that's the only thing. Into red. Could have found my Christmas now. It's here somewhere. There it is. So I've got my Happy Christmas. Okay. Sorry, I'm being very indecisive, aren't I? It's because it's white here. This is what I'm pondering over. It's probably not good, really. Happy Christmas. No, it's not coming together, is it? So I shall abandon that. Sometimes when it just doesn't happen, it's best to just leave it. So sorry to disappoint you. There was me going to use my Happy Christmas and I haven't after all. But what I could do is put that inside of here. So let me do that. And at least I will have used that one up. So this one I cut out. This is from our Word Wishes dies. So I'm just going to, and I put some of our self-adhesive paper on the reverse of that. Just pop out that bit from the H and there, and then just peel this away. With luck. There we go. And you just want to lift it slowly and carefully. There we go. I've got a feeling I haven't got any glue right on that very edge. Let's do it the better way. Like that. There we go. There we go. There's my Happy. And then Christmas is going to go by the side of it, just slightly underneath. So just going to prise it out of its paper first, like so. As I said, these all came out from the scraps. Just want to tease it out. What I don't want to do is pull it too much that it stretches the whole thing. we go. And I can see I've got a little bit of green in there, obviously from a previous die cut. There we go, happy Christmas. And I think I've still got the little dot over the eye. Could do with my paper piercer really, but I'll try it with the tip of my scissors. It's so tiny. There we go. It's like microsurgery here. Somewhat less critical though, I have to say. There we go. There we have it. So, 2 at least cards using the scraps and the extra bits and pieces from the Joy of Sharing card kit. Let me clear these out of the way. I'll show you those 2 and then I'll show you the 2 beginning ones that come with the kit. If anybody's interested in this, it is in stock at the minute, so I can have that ordered and sent straight out to you. It's £33 for the kit and £4.95 for postage to have it sent straight to you. And as I say, I can add on glues and things like that for you as well. So these are the 2 that I've created, and here are the 2 from the kit itself. So the video for these is on my Friday session here. It's also on YouTube under card making kits if you look for my playlists. So I hope you enjoy what I've shown you today. Sorry it went slightly awry in the middle, but hopefully there's enough there to give you some ideas on other things that you can do. Thank you so much for joining me. I shall be back tomorrow, Tuesday, at 5 p.m. So my new times are Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 5. So I look forward to catching up with you then. Thank you so much. Let me have a look. Oh, Babsy's better. Good. Oh yes, I could use a gem. Thank you. I could have also used one of the little dots as well. Lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. Do take care. Look after yourselves. I hope you're able to keep crafting. And if you need someone to chat to over lockdown, you know where I am. Always love to hear from you. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.